Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm your host, Brandon Vincent. In U.S. news, wealthy smartphone users are turned off by expensive applications. Smartphone users with salaries over $150,000 tend to have cheap taste when it comes to apps. The most popular applications among wealthy mobile users, a recent Luxury Institute study found, are weather, news, and gaming programs. And the well-off don't like paying any more for apps any more than the less affluent. Nearly 40% of the wealthy people the Luxury Institute polled said that they only downloaded free apps. Having to pay extra for downloaded applications, the market research firm concluded, is the leading barrier to more widespread use of mobile apps. Brand names don't do much to sway people either. Just 9% of the respondents to the Institute survey said that they had downloaded an app from BMW. Only 8% had one made by Chanel or Louis Vuitton. With the price of both smartphones and tablet computers on the decline, apps with mass appeal should continue to proliferate. Research company Gartner said this week that tablet sales will nearly triple next year. And regardless of the salary of the people buying those tablets, the apps they download should be about the same. In financial news, blue chip stocks squeaked out a slim gain on Monday amid jitters ahead of U.S. midterm elections and expected moves from the Federal Reserve. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 6.13 points, or 0.6%, to 11,124, reversing an earlier triple-digit climb. Kraft Foods was the measure's worst performer, falling 49 cents or 1.5% to 31.78. Chevron slid 1.15 or 1.4% to $81.45. Technology stocks rose after the Semiconductor Industry Association said global chip sales rose 2.9% in September from a month earlier. Intel gained 52 cents or 2.6% to $20.57, while Hewlett-Packard rose 45 cents or 1.1% to $42.49. Traders' focus was locked on events later this week, including Tuesday's midterm elections and Wednesday's conclusion of a meeting of the Federal Reserve's Policymaking Committee. The stock market has rallied since early September on expectations that the Fed will resume purchasing bonds in order to stimulate the economy. Investors said they wouldn't be surprised to see a sell-off after the election and Fed meeting, given the market's steady climb since September amid a surge of market optimism. In international news, the British economist John Maynard Keynes may live on in popular legend as the world's most influential economist, but in much of Europe and most acutely here in the land of his birth, his view that deficit spending by governments is crucial to avoiding a long recession has lately been ignored. In Britain, Chancellor George Osborne delivered a speech. He argued forcefully that Britons, despite slowing growth and negligible bank lending, must accept a rise in the retirement age from 65 to 66 and $130 billion in spending cuts that would eliminate nearly 500,000 public sector jobs and hit pensioners, the poor, and the military, as well as the middle class, because of what he insisted was the overwhelming need to reduce the country's huge budget deficit. Mr. DeLong and others on the left have long argued for more stimulus spending in the United States and abroad to lift growth, even if deficits rise temporarily as a consequence. While that notion may have its adherents in the White House and among many American and European academics, in Europe there is hardly a policymaker to be found who is making the argument that governments need to spend more, not less. This is particularly true in Britain, where a combination of collapsing tax revenues and government spending to prop up banks and support the unemployed during the financial crisis has contributed to a budget deficit equal to 11% of gross domestic product, which is second highest in Europe after Ireland.
Hi, I'm Chef Tony, and now there's a knife so sharp you can cut a pineapple in midair. It's the Miracle Blade 3 Perfection Series. This is my all-purpose slicer, the ultimate in slicing knives. You'll also get rock and chop, ripped through ribs. Plus, you'll receive my fillet and boning knife. Fillet fish right down to the skin. And my chop and scoop. Chop parsley and fresh herbs in seconds. Watch, flex, and scoop right to your favorite recipe. And you get my paring knife. Curved to peel fruits and veggies. I'll also send you 4 steak knives. Call now and you'll get my Perfection shears and a second Miracle Blade slicer absolutely free.
But wait, we'll send you a second complete set of knives free. Just imagine, that's now nearly $500 worth of knives for just one payment of only $39.95. And if you don't think the Miracle Blades are the best knives you've ever used, just return them for a full refund. So call now.
In fashion news, Perry Ellis International announced today the extension of its license agreement with Nike Incorporated, in which Perry Ellis will continue to design, produce, manufacture, and distribute men's, women's, and children's swimwear, performance and casual swimwear products, select apparel, and swim equipment within North America under the Nike Swim brand through 2014. We are extremely pleased to announce today the extension of our agreement and partnership with Nike. This extension provides us with a platform for long-term growth with one of the world's most recognized brands and helps to further strengthen our relationships with retail partners, says the President and Chief Operating Officer of Perry Ellis International. We will continue to leverage our expertise and strong distribution with other swim brands to ensure that Nike Swim reaches its full potential. Perry Ellis International will maintain distribution through its current account base of sporting goods stores, department stores, and specialty swim accounts, while also focusing on growing its accessory and team sales business by adding on additional school and aquatic club programs. Today, Perry Ellis distributes Nike Swim products into over 4,000 domestic points of retail distribution. In tech news, the Samsung Galaxy tablet, also known as the Samsung Galaxy Tab, will first arrive in the U.S. courtesy of Verizon. It will have some company on the carrier's shelves. Verizon recently revealed it will also carry the iPad soon. But while the iPad buyers will need to use a separate MiFi device to surf over cellular data networks, the Galaxy Tab has 3G built in. Verizon, the very same company that recently announced it will sell the iPad beginning next week, announced Wednesday that it will become the first U.S. carrier to stock Samsung's Galaxy Tab. The widely anticipated Tab is a 7-inch Android-based tablet, the epitome of a class of devices that Apple CEO Steve Jobs has famously declared dead on arrival. Beginning November 11th, when the Tab goes on sale at Verizon Wireless retail stores for $599, consumers will get a chance to handle it and the iPad side by side, decide which they prefer, and a significant number may well choose the Tab, predicts Chris Hazelton, Director of Mobile and Wireless Research for the 451 Group. In green news, a new study highlights the risk of painting a child's room. Even some water-based, low VOC paints can contain an ingredient that, according to a new study, increases the risk of childhood asthma, allergies, and other respiratory problems. Children who sleep in bedrooms with fume from water-based solvents and paints, including some labeled low VOC, are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer from allergies or asthma, according to a new scientific study. Scientists measured the compounds known as PGEs in the bedroom air of 400 toddlers and preschoolers and discovered that the children who breathed them had substantially higher rates of asthma and stuffy noses. It's the first human study to link harmful effects of these chemicals to common exposures in households, and it suggests that they can even cause allergic disorders and asthma, according to the team of scientists from Harvard University and Sweden's Karlstad University.